Do you normally wear condoms while you're having sexual intercourse with your wife?
No.
Okay, why did you buy the condoms today? Because you intended to come here to my county and have sex with a 15-year-old female.
I just don't. I've never done that before.
Do you normally walk around with condoms in your pocket?
Well, not every day, no.
For years now, since I'm married, I just don't have sex. I'm sorry to say that. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party. I just go work.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a pharmacy technician.
How long have you been there?
4 days.
Where'd you work before that?
First Baptist Church.
Why did you have to resign to the church?
Because me and another woman in the congregation had an affair. And
Is she married? Are you married? Or?
Both of us are married.
What were you doing at the church? What kind of work?
I was an associate minister of music.
Really?
He says he almost turned around and went home.
Because my girlfriend, whatever you want to call her, text messaged me and said, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. But I was going to knock on the door and say, hey, sorry, no, and tell her that I was in love with somebody else and leave.
The investigator wants to know why then did he bother having the sexual chat with the girl he thought was a young teen.
Why would you think about it with a young girl? That's how old did she? Was
13, she said.
13?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why would
because it's a girl in general. It's not a sexual desire specific to young girls.
Okay.
I never did drugs, never smoked. I have drunk very minimal. Girls my entire life and women have always been my only downfall. They've always been my vice.
And now that vice has led him here.
You don't have to feel shameful in front of me, man. I'm not a judgment guy, okay?
I'm not covering my face out of shame. I'm covering it out of the fact that I have zero life. Now, I work in minimum wage jobs pretty much for the rest of my life.
But he says he's not sure what he would have done when he actually met the girl in person.
You intended to come over and have sex with her, didn't you?
I did not know whether I intended or not to have sex.
And I kept thinking, I'm going to be that dude that walks in this house. I'm going to be that NBC guy. I don't want to be that some pedophile walks in with the Dunkin' Donuts munchkins in the six-pack looking for It's serious. You know, I watch these shows, I'm like, the guys disgust me. I'm like, pieces of they should be castrated. And it's like, why did I even get my car? Why didn't I just delete? Why didn't I just click the app close? You know, like, stupid. I'll tell you right now, I can't have sex because my thing don't get up from my medication. God's honest truth. Call my doctor.
Let me ask you a question. You said you can't have sex. Why do you have condoms in your car?
Those have been in there for God knows how long.
He says he thought the girl was joking when she told him she was 13.
When she said, I said, you can't go to the casino. And she's like, yeah, I can't go to the casino. I'm 13. I'm like, that's like not a funny joke. She's like, well, I hang out with my dad's older friends all the time. And I'm like, they do like sexual? I'm like, did your dad pimp you out or something? I thought it was a boy at first. I really did. I was like, wait a minute.
We want to go there?
No. Okay. No, not like that. I honestly couldn't tell the age of the person.
So what made you leave then?
Something didn't seem right. Okay. So I never left my house tonight. I thought she was like 20. I honestly didn't know. I didn't think she was 13.
Why would a 20-year-old pretend to be a 13-year-old girl?
I thought she was joking. I thought she was joking.
What's funny about that to a 20-year-old girl?
I have no idea.
Yes, she did. You heard her voice, though.
Yeah, it like...
We have all the phone
It sounded fake. It just sounded fake.
Why would you come to meet a fake child?
No
What
idea.
kind of sense does that make?
No idea.
You heard her little child voice.
Yeah, I know. I thought it sounded like a computer.
Tell me what kind of trouble you're in.
Probably jail.
No, what did you do wrong?
I showed up to solicit a minor.
For what?
I guess sex.
Sex.
Then single TX guy for fun says he was really only going to talk with the teenager. So the detective asks him again.
I was just coming to meet him. What happens, happens. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, so there was a possibility that could have happened.
Could have.
Could have.
When the 27-year-old finds out he's going to jail...
You're going to be taken to Dark County Jail?
Please don't. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
he threatens to kill himself.
I really am just going to slit my throat.
Relax, all right?
No, I'm just going to kill myself. Put me in jail and I'll hang myself. I don't care. I did something so wrong that I don't even want to be alive.
When the detective takes off the handcuffs so the man can sign his statement, he grabs the pen and makes a half-hearted attempt to stab himself.
Put your hand behind your back. You better behave, all right?
I'll read you some more chat. So do you have a nice...
Yeah, but what were we talking about prior to that?
It doesn't matter what you're talking about prior to it. You're asking him something sexually explicit.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Jungle Mania insists he wasn't going to have sex with the boy.
I know what my intentions are.
So do I.
Well...
Okay. It's pretty obvious, Ken.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
is. I know what I am.
And what is that?
I'm a man with a good heart. The kid was lonely, bored, and that's all it was.
So that's why you asked him how big his penis was.
I'm not an idiot. I've been a cop for 19 years.
I'll be honest. Whatever.
Okay. But if we're gonna say you were just going there to make a friend and to hang out, I'm gonna question the veracity of that.
I know how it works. I know. I was not going to his house to literally have sex with him in his house. I was not going to do that.
That day?
No, I don't really... I meet with a lot of people on that website. Numerous people on that website. We'll go hang out. And I actually still talk to people from that website that I actually made friends with. Mm-hmm. I don't have any friends. I have no friends. Literally.
You have a fiance, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but we don't see each other as much as we used to.
Okay.
He works a lot, I work a lot. I know some people look at me like, okay, you're going to this guy's house to have sex, aren't you? That's your whole intentions. No, it's not. I can hang out with a 12-year-old, a 16-year-old, an 18-year-old.
I understand you're going to prison already for the same charge, is that correct?
That's correct.
How much time do you have?
11 months.
11 months, and when do you go to prison?
Thursday.
Thursday?
The detectives asked Westerbeck why he admitted to the decoy that he was going to jail. Was he trying to get her sympathy and have one last sexual encounter before being locked up?
Not one for the road?
No.
You understand what I mean by that?
I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. That was not my intent. I learned my lesson the first time.
Obviously not.
No.
Right? Obviously not.
Well, I wasn't coming.
You're chatting with the 13-year-old female about your penis size on the internet, and you drove about, an hour and a half to get here to meet a 13-year-old female in the middle of the night who you knew by looking at the chats her parents weren't home. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Can't honestly say I was going to act on anything because
Well, now, when you say act on anything, what did y'all talk about doing?
having sex.
Really?
Yes, sir.
What else did you talk about?
Anal, oral.
Did you talk about touching her breast with your mouth and stuff too?
I may have, probably.
That understood and agreed upon. Are you telling me that you did not intend to engage with sexual conduct with her?
I'm saying I think it was very unlikely.
If she'd have come to the door with just a sexy shirt on,
or nothing at
all, would that have changed what you thought was going to happen?
I probably would have went into shock and fell over, honestly.
Why?
I mean, like me, I've talked about it and then seen breasts and just completely blush and just freeze up. It's just easy to express, even overly express on the internet and on the phone.
When the detective asks Cothrum for permission to examine his computer, at first he objects because it turns out the computer isn't even his. It's his girlfriend's.
The only reason why I would object is because of the involvement I don't want with my girlfriend and her children.
Do you think she has a suspicion that you've been doing this?
No, there's no suspicion about it, you know. Of course, I lied about where I said I was going earlier when I talked to her.
Yeah. But my objective is not to embarrass you with your family. Trust me.
If I get any embarrassment, it's only because I deserve it. I mean, I did something that I shouldn't have done, and...
But let me ask you this, why shouldn't you have done it?
She's 14, I should have blew her off as soon as I talked to her.
As the interrogation wraps up, he seems to realize he's in deep trouble.
Haunt you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, we've all got to look to the future.
Well, this future doesn't look too bright right this second.
Why did you come if he wasn't to have sex with a 13-year-old girl?
Just think I was being naive. I didn't think it would actually happen. I just ruined my entire life over something I knew was wrong. There's no explanation, there's no excuses. Everything I've worked for up until now and here on out is destroyed because
you wanted to have sex with a 13-year-old girl.
Because I didn't use my head.
When we go seize your computer at the residence, is there going to be any pornographic material on there from juveniles or small children?
As far as I know, no, but...
As far as he knows. But then he says if they do find something, it's because someone else has been using his computer.
Child porn?
There's been one instance where I found some of that and some, I don't know if it was like bestiality stuff or something, and I had to delete that.